There is a morning I remember perfectly. I was in Punta Cana. I opened my eyes, and before I could even see the light, my head was already full. Pending emails. The meeting from the day before that had not gone well. The decisions that still had no answer. And I thought, I am on vacation in one of the most beautiful places in the world. And my mind is already working. I was not living that morning. I was reliving the day before and anticipating the next one. That made me understand something that changed the way I begin every day. This meditation is what I discovered that morning. It is for you if you recognize that feeling. Your mind is already working before the body has finished waking up. This morning, you change that. You learn to begin the day from a different place, from someone who chooses, not from someone who reacts. In the next 60 minutes, you activate the clarity, presence, and focus that make you better at everything that matters. Are you ready to start from zero? Welcome. Hello, I'm Jordi, founder of Conscious Mind. If you want to support this channel so it can keep growing and reaching more people, subscribe, like this video, and turn on the bell so you don't miss any meditation. Every gesture counts and helps me a lot. Thank you from the heart. Make yourself comfortable. You can be seated with your back supported or lying down if you are still in bed. What matters is that the body is in a position where it does not have to make any effort to hold itself. Place your hands on your thighs or on your abdomen with the palms facing upward. And before anything else, notice what is happening right now in the mind. Do not judge it. Just observe it, as if you were someone watching from the outside. Is there already a list? Is there already something pending from yesterday that is still there? Is there a conversation that did not end the way you wanted? A decision that is still circling around? An email you answered at 11 at night that somehow remains open in the mind, even though the screen is off? That is normal. It is what a mind does when it works, creates, leads, builds. A mind that never fully stops. The problem is not that the mind is active. The problem is when the active mind steals from you the only moment of the day when everything is still blank. When the weight of yesterday colonizes the space of today before you have had the chance to choose what you want to fill it with. This morning, that space is yours before the noise enters, before the urgency begins, before the schedule dictates who you are today. We are going to open that space with the breath. The technique is called clarity breathing. It is designed specifically for the mind that begins the day accelerated, not to calm it completely, to clear it, to move from the state of reaction to the state of choice. Four counts to inhale through the nose. 4 counts to hold gently. 6 counts to exhale through the mouth with the lips slightly parted, as if you wanted to fog a glass, without force, just letting the air come out on its own, taking with it the first thing you do not need. The exhalation is longer than the inhalation. That activates the vagus nerve. The parasympathetic nervous system takes control. The mind that had already spent 20 seconds listing problems begins to hear something different. Its own silence. Let's begin. Inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the mouth. Lips parted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again. Inhale. The morning air completely fills the chest. The abdomen expands. Hold. Without tension, only stillness. Exhale. Everything you carried last night while you slept, what the mind continued processing without you asking it to, leaves with this breath. 3 more cycles at your own rhythm. 4, 4, 6. Slow and deliberate, like someone beginning the day, knowing they have time. Good. Do you feel the difference? Notice what happened in the mind during those cycles. Did the volume of the inner noise lower? Is there a small space that was not there 2 minutes ago? That is not relaxation. It is alignment. The mind and body synchronizing before the day begins, like tuning an instrument before playing it. You do not change the song, you change the quality of the sound. And for an entrepreneur, for a creator, for someone who makes decisions that affect others, the quality of the inner state is the most valuable asset that exists. More than the money in the account, more than the contacts in the calendar, more than the perfect strategy. Because you can have all of that and still make terrible decisions if you are operating from fear, from exhaustion, from the reactivity of someone who has gone weeks without stopping. Or you can have much less and create much more if every morning you begin from here. After 4 or 5 cycles of this rhythm, the brain begins to generate alpha waves, the state where the best thinkers in the world operate when they are in what they call flow, not asleep and not hyperactive, awake and clear, present without effort. That is the state from which you want to make decisions. That is the state from which you want to create. That is the state most people never reach in the morning because they get up directly into the phone. You are already here. Now we go to the body, because clarity does not begin in the head. It begins below. Bring your attention to your feet, to the contact with the surface, with the bed, with the floor if you are seated, the feet that anchored the body while you slept, the feet that will carry you through everything this day has prepared. Do you feel them? The temperature? The weight? Move up through the ankles, through the calves. Is there tension there? Is there a contraction you did not fully release during the night? Breathe into that. Inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 6, and on the exhalation, that tension softens a little. Through the knees, through the thighs, through the hips. The body of an entrepreneur, of a creator, of someone who carries responsibilities, accumulates tension in specific places. In the shoulders that hold the weight of decisions. In the chest that tightens when there is uncertainty. In the abdomen that contracts when control is not entirely in your hands. Bring your attention to the abdomen. Now, is there something there? A pressure? A soft agitation that is already anticipating the day? Do not eliminate it. Recognize it. Say to it, I see you. I know you are there. And today you will not be in command. The gesture of recognition without resistance is the beginning of the state of clarity. When you fight against what you feel, it it becomes bigger. When you name it without fighting, it loses power. There is a physiological reason for this. The abdomen has more neurons than the spinal cord. Scientists call it the second brain, and it is not a metaphor. That second brain keeps track of everything you did not process, everything you swallowed without digesting, every decision you made with the body tightened. When you breathe into it, you are literally giving it information. We are safe. There is no threat. You can let go. Inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 6, all directed toward the abdomen. Feel how, with each exhalation, that area softens a little more. And with that softening, something valuable arrives: access to intuition. Because intuition does not live in the head. It lives here, in the body, in that second brain that processes information in ways the rational mind cannot follow. When the abdomen is tight, intuition cannot speak to you. When it is free, it begins to do so. The best decisions I made in my life, I made when the body was calm. The worst, when it was in reaction mode. This morning, the body is calm. Move up to the chest, to the heart that beat all night without anyone asking it to. Place a hand there if you want. Feel the heartbeat. That rhythm does not know your schedule. It does not know whether you have an important meeting at 9. It does not know whether yesterday you did not finish what you wanted to finish. It does not know whether the project is going well or badly, whether the month has been good or weak. It only knows how to beat again and again, with a consistency that no productivity system has managed to surpass. Approximately 100,000 times a day, without complaining, without needing validation, without anyone telling it that it is doing a good job. Learn from it this morning. Consistency without drama. Rhythm without urgency. Commitment that does not need everything to be perfect in order to keep functioning. How many times in recent months have you waited for everything to be perfect before moving forward? How many times did fear of the result make you slower than you needed to be? The heart never does that. The heart simply continues. You can learn that today too. Breathe from the heart. 4-4-6. through the shoulders. Let them drop half a centimeter, only half a centimeter, without forcing, simply inviting them to release what they do not need to hold yet. The neck, the nape that often carried the whole night. The jaw. This is one of the places where the mind that never stops accumulates the most tension. The teeth that clench during sleep. The jaw that holds what the mouth did not say. Separate the teeth slightly. Let the tongue fall to the back of the mouth. That's it. Feel how that small opening in the jaw changes something in the entire face, in the eyes that rest behind the eyelids, in the forehead that softens. The body is awake, clear, present. Now we are going to do something very few people do in the morning, and that marks the difference between days that flow and days that drag. We are going to empty the inbox. Your mind, right now, has pending things from yesterday. No matter how well you slept, the subconscious continued working, sorting, trying to resolve. And this morning, there are elements that want to keep occupying the foreground, even though it is no longer their turn. Imagine that in front of you there is a screen, not a phone, not a computer, a large, clear, blank screen. And on the screen appear, one by one, the matters your mind has opened. You do not have to solve them, only see them, like checking email without opening it yet, only to know what is there. There is a conversation that did not end well. There is a pending decision. There is a project moving more slowly than you want. There is something someone said that still echoes in your head. There is a worry that has no solution today, even though the mind insists on looking for one. Look at each thing that appears. And to each one, say silently, I see you. You are real. And today, when the moment comes, I will give you my attention. But now is not that moment. There is something here that many people do not understand about managing the mind. It is not about emptying it. It is about organizing it, about telling each thing which line it needs to stand in. The mind that cannot prioritize puts everything in the urgent lane, and when everything is urgent, nothing is important. This morning, you decide the lines. The urgent in its place. The important in its place. What does not depend on you today in another place. And what simply has no solution, no matter how many minutes you dedicate to it, return it to the inbox. Do not throw it away. Just return it. It will be there when life resolves it, which does not always depend on your mental effort. This is something the best operators I have known know how to do. They are not the ones with fewer problems. They are the ones who do not confuse thinking about a problem with solving it. Thinking about something you cannot solve today is not work. It is noise. And noise consumes energy you need for what you actually can move. John Kabat-Zinn, the father of modern mindfulness, has spent decades researching what happens in the brain when we stop fighting against the present moment and simply inhabit it. What he found is that the mind that accepts what is there without resisting it or clinging to it is the mind most capable of acting effectively. Not because it has closed its eyes to the problems, but because it sees them clearly instead of through the fog of reactivity. Right now, you see clearly, and from that clarity, you can decide what deserves your energy today. Breathe. 4-4-6. The screen clears. Not because the matters have disappeared, but because you have already seen them. You have already named them. You have already told them when they may enter. And now the space is free. Free for what comes now. And I want you to notice something before continuing. Right now, with the screen clear and the mind organized, is there something you feel more clearly than 10 minutes ago? It may be a priority that was not clear before. It may be the certainty that something you believed was urgent can actually wait. It may be an idea that wanted to arrive but had no space with so much background noise. That is your mind in a state of clarity, working for you. You did not need to add more information. You only needed to remove what was blocking the way. The best creative moments, the most accurate decisions, The most elegant solutions I have seen arrive almost never come when the mind is at maximum occupation. They arrive in the shower, on a walk, in the first minutes of the morning, when the noise has not yet begun. They arrive when there is space. This morning, you created that space deliberately. And whatever arrives in it is yours. There is a phrase I have been thinking about for years, since I saw something I never forgot. I was working in a textile factory at 17 years old, and there was a man who had been at the same machine for 40 years. 40 years doing exactly the same thing, not out of vocation, out of inertia, because he had never chosen anything else. That man was not my enemy or my failure. He was my teacher. He taught me what I did not want. And sometimes, knowing clearly what you do not want is the most honest compass that exists. What you have chosen to do, build, create, is not inertia. It is an active decision you renew every morning. And this morning, you are renewing it in the best possible way. From calm, from presence, from the conscious choice of what you want to fill the day with. We are going to set that intention now. Not a goal, not a number, not a to-do list. An emotional intention. The inner state from which you want to operate today. Because the quality of your decisions, your conversations, your creative work does not mainly depend on how much you know or how many resources you have. It depends on the inner state from which you operate. The same problem has completely different solutions when you approach it from fear than when you approach it from clarity. The same conversation has radically different results when you have it from reactivity than when you have it from presence. I have seen this up close many times. In the years I spent on stage, the same text, the same character, the same play could be completely different from one night to another, depending on the state with which you walked on stage. The text did not change. You changed. And the audience felt it, even if they could not explain why. Your work today functions the same way. The project does not change. The resources do not change. The state from which you touch it changes, and everything transforms. State changes everything. From what state do you want to operate today? Do not think too much. The body's first answer is usually the right one. Clarity, presence, calm, generosity, trust, creativity, patience, courage, openness. Choose one word, only one. The first one that arrived. That is your intention for today. Do not question it. Do not compare it with what you think you should feel. Your body knew before your mind chose. And the body, in this state, does not lie. Feel the word in the body. Where does it live? In the chest that expands, in the abdomen that settles, in the spine that straightens 1 millimeter when you pronounce it silently. That is the sign that it is the right one. Now, with that word as an anchor, do something simple. Remember a moment in your life when you operated from that state. It does not have to be recent. It may be from years ago. A moment when you felt that clarity, that confidence, that presence, naturally. Bring that memory into the body, not as a story, but as a sensation. How did the chest feel in that moment? The breathing, the posture. The brain does not distinguish precisely between a vivid memory and the present. When you remember that sensation with enough detail, the body begins to generate it now. That is neuroplasticity applied to the morning, not philosophy, a tool. That sensation you have just recovered is the one you carry with you into the day. Now, from that word, from that state, imagine the day ahead, not as a task list, as an experience. Imagine yourself in the first important conversation of the day. How are you present in it? How do you listen? How do you speak from that state of clarity you have just activated? Imagine yourself facing the creative work you need to do, not the anxiety of the blank page or the pressure of the result. Only you and the process. You and the idea that wants to arrive. You present in each step without jumping to the end. Imagine yourself making a difficult decision, not from exhaustion or fear, from the information you have, from the values that guide you, from the trust that what you do not know today, you will learn in time. Do you feel the difference between that version and the one that sometimes makes decisions at 11 at night, with the email open and the body in survival mode? That difference does not come from knowing more, It comes from being better. I want you to add one more image to this visualization. Imagine yourself at the end of the day, when everything has passed, when you have had those conversations, made those decisions, moved forward in what matters. Imagine that moment when you can stop and say to yourself, "Today I was present. Today I did not let myself be carried away by the urgency of what was secondary. Today I did what I had to do from the right state." How does that end of the day feel? Is there satisfaction? Is there a sense of integrity, of having been the person you wanted to be today, not only of having completed tasks? That is what you are building this morning. Not only productivity, presence, not only results, a way of moving through the day that, in the end, accumulates into something no number can fully measure. The feeling that you are truly living your own life. That is you, operating from your best version. That version does not require everything to go well. It requires you to be well first. And right now, in this moment, you are well. The body is awake and relaxed. The mind is clear and organized. The inner state has been chosen. There is something else I want you to hear before you get up. The director of my drama school told us on the first day that only 10% of us would build a career. 10%. And I remember that moment very clearly, because instead of feeling fear, something inside me said, I am part of that 10%. I did not know it for certain. I had no evidence. I simply chose it. I decided to act as if it were true, before I had proof that it was. That is what makes the difference between those who build something real and those who wait for the perfect moment that never comes. Not the absence of fear, not the guarantee of the result, the choice to move from conviction before having certainty. This morning, you are also choosing to begin from here, from this state, from this clarity. And that choice, repeated every morning, becomes the architecture of a different life. There is something that studies on high performance consistently show: the difference between people who build something sustainable and those who burn out is not in talent or in the hours they work. It is in the quality of the inner state from which they work. Those who burn out work many hours from fear, from urgency, from the feeling that it is never enough. Those who build sustainably work from clarity, from purpose, from energy, renewed every morning. Not because they have fewer problems, but because they learned to begin the day by choosing who they are before the world tells them who they have to be. You have been building something for weeks, months, perhaps years. Some mornings it is easy, others it is not. There are days when clarity arrives by itself, and days when you have to go looking for it deliberately. This morning, you went looking for it. That already says a lot about who you are. We are going to close with the activation. Bring your attention to the whole body now, from the feet to the head. The feet that are ready to move. Feel their contact with the surface. The legs that have strength. That strength you have always had, but that fatigue sometimes makes you forget. The abdomen that breathes freely. This morning, unlike many others, it is not tightened against something it cannot control. The chest open, that extra centimeter of spaciousness that was not there when you began. The shoulders back and down without the load of what does not belong to them. The spine lengthening naturally without effort. Because when the body is calm, correct posture arrives by itself. The head upright and clear, the mind organized, the state chosen. Begin to notice the space where you are, the sounds of the morning that perhaps you had not heard yet, the temperature of the air in the room, the light that already exists even though your eyes have been closed. The day exists out there. It has been waiting, and you arrive to it differently from how you arrived before this practice. There is something I want you to do before getting up. Just 30 seconds. Think of one thing, only one, for which you are genuinely grateful this morning. Not the list. One. The first one that arrives with warmth in the chest. It may be your health. It may be someone you love. It may be the project to which you dedicate your energy. It may be this morning silence that you had the courage to protect. When it arrives with warmth in the chest, that is real gratitude. Not gratitude done because you are supposed to, but the kind that recognizes that something in your life already deserves to be celebrated, even though you have not yet arrived where you want to go. That gratitude is the right frequency from which to begin. Take one more deep breath. 4, 4, 6. The last cycle of this morning. Inhale. The day enters with this breath, full of possibility. Hold in that still and clean space. Exhale. With the intention you chose, with the clarity you built, with the presence you are capable of maintaining. When you are ready, open your eyes slowly. Not to the phone yet, to the room first, to the space where you are, to the reality of this morning that has just begun from a different place. Give yourself 10 seconds, simply looking at the space, without reading anything, without consuming anything, just you, present in the first real moment of this day. That moment is yours. Everything that comes after can be yours too. You carry with you the state you chose. Today, you do not react. You choose. You do not begin by thinking about yesterday. You begin here, in today, in what matters, in who you want to be. That is the work of this morning. It is already done. Have a great day. And if at any moment during the day you feel the noise returning, reactivity trying to take command, remember this moment. Remember how the chest feels when it is open. Remember the word you chose this morning. 3 breaths of 4, 4, 6, and you return here. You can always return here. The day may bring whatever it brings. Unexpected events, friction, moments where everything gets complicated at once. That is part of building something real in the real world. But now, you have a tool that no one can take away from you. That is also what you take with you today. I'm Jordi from Conscious Mind, and I'll see you tomorrow if you want to begin again from here.